This video is called Inside the Dark World of Poker Cheating. It's a Fern video. His channel will be in the description. I've watched like 5 videos of his on stream before, so alright, lock in.
You're at a high-stakes private poker game in a $17 million New York townhouse. You meet all these cool guys. He says you should call him Floppy. This one is Hulk Hogan. And this guy looks just like NBA Hall of Famer and Portland Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups.
Did I say Hulk Hogan? Dude, it actually is crazy to me that people were like so sad when he died. Dude, all he did was just wrestle people, bro. It's not even like he was a good wrestler. Like he like faked that shit too. Like that was he wasn't like the fake league. And also he's just a terrible human being. Like, hold on. Oh yeah. So he's said a lot of racial slurs. He has a sex tape with someone. It was his friend's wife. Okay. Ferris. W. Cook overthrew other people's careers for his own fame. He also his son was like drunk driving and killed someone. And all he said was like that his son wasn't in the wrong, even though, you know, you can't really not be in the wrong if you kill someone while drunk driving.
But for legal reasons, he isn't.
Same with like Conor McGregor. Like people are like defending him so hard. Like he does not know you, bro. Why would you even defend him? He raped someone. You're only defending him because you like watching him punch people. It's not even like a worthy thing to defend him of. And he's not even in his prime anymore. Like I would get it if it was like LeBron, if he was like prime LeBron, but he's not even in his prime anymore. He's fucking ass. He's washed.
That's the whole reason you're here, to rub elbows with celebrities and tough guys, and make bank. But tonight won't go as planned. You're about to get royally screwed. For years, star-studded underground poker games were held all over the United States, and allegedly they were rigged. The alleged cheating is said to have been so elaborate, so thorough, even professional poker players were duped. To figure out how all this supposedly worked, we went down some wild rabbit holes.
So it's not just one guy cheating at a poker table. It's like the whole entire setup of the poker table is falsified and like fabricated to get money out of like 2 or 3 guys. That's not what I was expecting. I was expecting like people that go to like casinos and then just like count cards.
Takes is one guy at the table who's suddenly a mind reader. Every time he's got you beat, he calls, and every time you've got him beat, he folds.
In this video, we'll cover the 3 main methods, each more ingenious than the last.
They think they're playing poker. You know you're not.
This is how a shadowy, elusive cheating ring with ties to the mob allegedly made millions rigging poker games.
Dude, I feel like this is like more dangerous than like actually like drug trafficking. Because if you're cheating, if you're drug trafficking, you're making money off of people because they're buying a product from you. Dude, if you're cheating at a poker table, it's still illegal, and also you're just stealing money from people. Like I feel like they would shoot you or like slap you. I feel like that's more dangerous.
Much of our reporting is based on the claims of the United States Department of Justice, as outlined in their official documents. But the cases mentioned are ongoing, and all defendants are innocent until proven guilty.
These are ongoing cases?
Have a seat. It's time to play What? You need a refresher? Oh my God. Okay.
What just happened?
Tonight we're playing Texas Hold'em. Right away.
What's Texas Hold'em? Hold on. It's okay, yeah, it's just poker. Okay.
Each player gets 2 cards of their own. No.
Or I could have just fucking watched and then he would explain it to me. I'm actually stupid.
These are your cards. Peek at them carefully so no one sees. You don't touch other people's... Okay. Your cards are a jack and a 10 of clubs. Promising.
Okay.
Then everyone bets. For now, just toss in the minimum. In this game, that's $100.
Is this like the best hand or something? Because it's the same, a jack and a 10 of clubs are the same suit, and also they're right next to each other. So wouldn't that be good?
The next round is the flop. The dealer burns the top card and puts 3 cards on the board face up. These are shared cards. Everyone combines them with their own to make a full 5-card hand. That king and queen could be great for you. Next is the second betting round. You can match the bet of the player before you. If you're feeling confident, you can raise it. If your hand just plain sucks, you can fold. In the next round, the dealer adds a 4th card to the board. Then there's another betting round and 1 last card added. Finally, it's showdown time, the final betting round before it's time to show your cards. Then, the player with the strongest hand wins. In order from weakest to strongest, these are the hands in poker. High card, like, I've got an ace. Meh. A pair, 2 of anything, the higher the better. Two pair, same idea, but twice. Three of a kind, 3 is better than 2. Straight, 5 consecutive cards. For example, a queen high straight is 8, 9, 10, jack, queen. Flush, 5 cards of the same suit. 5 diamonds, 5 hearts, etc. Full house, 3 of a kind and a pair, like 3 sevens and 2 nines. 4 of a kind, 2 of a kind doubled, 4 eights, 4 kings, etc. Straight flush, a straight and a flush, like peanut butter and chocolate. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and they're all clubs. Royal flush.
Is that when they're all the same card? Wait, never mind.
Flush with all of the fanciest cards. 10, jack, queen, king, ace, all of the same suit.
You can do that? That's gonna be like a 1 in a million chance, right?
Your jack and your 10 combine perfectly with the king, the queen, and the ace. That gives you a straight.
Oh yeah.
A nice hand. But no one lets you take advantage of it. Every time you try to raise, someone folds. So the pot stays pretty low. And you win, but not much. It almost feels like they knew how good your hand was. But how?
Because it's rigged. They know. Marked cards. I feel like you would be able to know if the cards are marked.
This is a marked deck. You can tell this is a 2 of spades. A 6.
Hold on. Let me try to figure out how. How do they tell the difference between these two cards? What is different about them? I have no idea.
Of hearts. An ace of clubs. The secret is these 2 parts of the card. This flower thingy and these triangles. For the 2 of spades, the flower's top petal is colored in. So is the bottom triangle.
What? And they remember that shit? I feel like I would not remember that.
6 of hearts, ace of clubs. This is just one example. There are as many systems for this as there are playing
I would not remember that.
card designs. You could dent your cards slightly, file down the sides, scuff them up good. But anyone at the table could notice these marks.
Yeah, that's the issue, is that it's very obvious
In a high
if you know what to look for.
stakes game like this, cheating needs to be more subtle. Almost invisible. This might call for almost invisible. This might call for luminous work. To see the marks on this card, you need special glasses or contacts. You buy them from specialized dealers. This is old technology. Here's an ad for luminous cards in the 1927 KC Card Company catalog. Special glasses furnished free with first order. The company claimed to have invented the term luminous for this type of cheating. But according to gambling expert Jason England, the
You can... What? That's crazy.
principle of cheating with hidden markings
But would they be able to like rub off like the luminous thing or what?
and special glasses goes all the way back to the Old West. England says that by 1929, this kind of cheating had gone mainstream. The KC Card Company even got a little touchy about it.
We originated this work. No one else has the real thing. Beware of spurious imitations.
Today, the tools of the trade are sold online. Sellers claim their contacts let you see ultraviolet marks on the cards, which is very sketchy internet card cheating merch of them, since scientifically that makes no sense. A normal person can't see ultraviolet markings.
Yeah.
A typical human eye can perceive wavelengths of 700 to 380 nanometers. The ultraviolet spectrum is below 400 nanometers. In theory, you could perceive a little sliver of UV light at the end of the visible range, but the lens of your eye filters it out. The real explanation for the glasses and contacts is a lot simpler. And it turns out you can make your own luminous cards.
So what we do is we take a very, very light green ink, and then you paint it onto the back of a red playing card. The B67 is a great card to use for that.
There's a line across the back of our card, which tells us it's a high card, but the faint green ink gets lost on the red card, and that's the idea.
There's probably something about the human
That's cool. That's crazy. Okay, so it's not actually luminous. Is that what they were doing back in the Old West too?
eye that makes it difficult to resolve those two colors under normal circumstances. So certainly if you painted the green ink on very, very lightly, it would be difficult to see at all.
You know who this guy looks like? You know the Looks Maxer guy, Trevor? He's like redhead. This is exactly who this guy looks like, bro. But like older.
Unless you use that red filter to help you distinguish between the two marks.
The glasses and contacts are tinted red. When you put them on, they act as a filter, allowing red light through but blocking other colors. All the white parts turn red, but the green becomes a muddy gray.
Well, it turns out that everything that
Wouldn't you be able to tell if you walked into a poker table and some dude is just wearing thick ass red lensed glasses? I would be like, take those shits off. And this method also only works if they're using your deck. So this method kind of sucks. And it'd also be suspicious if the guy who provides the deck is also wearing those thick ass red glasses. Like, you'd be like, what the fuck?
passes through a dark red filter like this one is going to try to turn some shade of red. And if this red filter can't resolve whatever color you start with into a shade that we would recognize as red, it's going to do the best it can. And what that means is that a lot of colors pass through and just wind up on this side of the filter as sort of just an ugly, muddled shade of gray.
According to England, you could probably make this work with other colors. Some older glasses are tinted blue. There were even rumors of modern versions without any perceptible tint at all. And you can buy pre-marked cards, which look even fancier, something like this. Either way, if someone is wearing the right lenses, everyone's cards are an open, slightly psychedelic-looking book. That guy's eyes look a little red. Are the cards marked? If that's what's going on,
the contacts. Oh, the contacts would be fucking great. That's good. The contacts are good. The glasses is some bullshit. You're not gonna win with the glasses.
Way you can win. Because in poker, the only thing more important than having the best hand is knowing whether or not you do. The game just started, and it's already way sketchier than playing poker in a casino. Which raises the question, why would you come to a private poker game anyway? Well, you can make a lot of money at these games, but basically, it's lunchtime and you want to sit with the cool kids. Like this guy. No, he's not Chauncey Billups. You need to let that go. But he is a famous athlete, and he's the whale. Whales are brought into private card games to attract fish like you.
I see. Wait, is Hulk Hogan not the whale? Or did they not even mention Hulk Hogan and I'm just tripping? I might just be tripping. I don't know.
People who want the thrill of rubbing
Yeah, none of these people look like Hulk Hogan. I'm actually stupid.
up against a little bit of stardom while feeling a little bit naughty, too. And who knows, maybe this incredibly famous person will really like you, right? The thing is, everyone knows that's why you're here. They were counting on it. In fact, they saw you coming a mile away. It wasn't that hard. Cheaters actually took your money half a dozen times on the way to this game. Remember those chips you bought from the bodega? Count your change, dummy. How about the meter in the cab? Oh, and that SIM card you bought at the airport. You didn't read the fine print, did you? And you thought you were so cool buying a burner. Well, there's a rake there, too. You know, the cut the house quietly skims just for letting you play. In this case, it's roaming charges. No, I know what you're thinking, and this isn't an ad, actually. Okay, fine, it is.
Why would you do that to me, Fern? What the hell?
Historic arrests across a wide-sweeping criminal enterprise.
This fucking guy. God, I hate this guy. Cash Patel's an idiot, bro. Fucking dork.
Both the NBA and La Casa Nostra.
On October 23, 2025, FBI Director Kash Patel announces that more than 30 people have been arrested for participating in what he calls a mind-boggling fraud operation. The operation is supposedly linked to La Cosa Nostra, the mafia, which, for some reason, the director of the FBI keeps calling
La Casa Nostra, La Casa Nostra, and La Casa Nostra.
La Cosa Nostra.
The first part of the scheme allegedly involved
Yeah, Cash Patel is such an idiot. I feel like he doesn't do any of the actual work and he just gets someone else to write some bullshit for him so he can say it to the rest of the people. But he's at the top because he has like connections. That's my guess. Because he's like, he never knows what he's talking about when he's up on the stage, it looks like. And he's like always coked out, like looks like he's always just done a line right before walking out on the stage.
sports betting fraud by NBA players. The FBI's investigation into it is really, actually, not a
Why do I care if he's professional or not? Because we're paying for him to have his job out of our pockets through taxpayer dollars. And he is in charge of protecting us and he doesn't know what he's doing. You know, I want him to be professional and know what he's doing.
joke called
Operation Nothing But Bet.
The second part, Operation Royal Flush, concerns allegedly rigged poker games held all across the United States since 2019.
Dude, the names of the operations they're either super cool or they're so stupid. Like this one is just so corny, Operation Royal Flush. But like the one, what is it? It's like Operation Desert Eagle or something like that. That shit's tough. Operation Michael? Who the fuck is Michael?
Today I'm going to be pranking Cheesy Michael with this egg, so that when he opens his door it smashes on the floor and ruins his life. Cheesy Michael. Open up the door. Cheesy Michael. Cheesy Michael. Cheesy Michael. Cheesy Michael.
According to the government, these games cheated people out of at least $7.15 million.
How many did they do? And like what? How much did each player start with in chips? What?
This is Doug Polk. He's a professional poker player and a YouTuber. He thinks that number may be too low.
Yeah, like if they had like $1 million hands, then that's too low. But if they had like $1,000 hands and they did like 70 games, and that, I guess that kind of makes sense.
I would estimate the number is dramatically higher than what we know, because oftentimes in these poker games, people will settle in cash, they'll settle in crypto, they'll settle in all these different ways. I would not be surprised for this to easily be in the 9-figure range. You know, I know a few guys alone that get into the 8-figure range, so I have to.
He knows people that do 8-figure ranges of poker. You're betting $10 million on a poker game? That is actually funny money. That's what I don't understand. How do you become that rich, bro? Genuinely, how? You have to just come up with some new idea and a new, cheaper way to exploit people.
To imagine that there are a lot of people involved here to get that number much, much higher.
Victims' identities haven't been officially disclosed.
John Doe.
Professional poker players are easy targets because they want to play poker. They're looking for these spots to make money. While there certainly were a number of poker professionals that lost big in these games, I wouldn't say that it was just poker pros. I would say that it was there were people from all types of different areas of the industry.
In the poker world, these games seem to have gotten a little bit of a reputation. Way back in May 2023, pro poker player Matt Berkey spilled a little tea.
There was this game. It started in LA and then it came to.
I'm sorry, I'm just now learning about a pro poker player from Pittsburgh. I grew up watching him playing cards. I'm a newest fan, brother. I love seeing you. Is that a slur? Did I just say a slur? Patrick Meehan. Who's Patrick Meehan? Oh, he's a politician. That's OD dick ride, bro. This guy's a politician's tweet on his freaking desk. What a dick ride.
Vegas for a few days, and it was all built around Chauncey Billups. I had heard about the game, and the person who told me about it was like, look, I know the game runners. I'm telling you 100% this game is on the up and up. And I was like, well, I know a lot of the people that are involved, and I'm telling you 100% that it is not on the up and up.
And he was wrong.
Yeah.
And it obviously like was for sure confirmed to be cheated.
The indictment says Billups and former NBA player Damon Jones were these games face
That dude looks just like Diddy.
cards. In the wider poker world, they're called whales. Honestly, talking about this case, the authorities throw lingo around like they're auditioning for an 80s cop movie.
My message to the defendants who've been rounded up today is this. Your winning streak has ended. Your
Like, why do they have to be so corny, bro? Your winning streak is ended. Like, do you guys remember during the I'll put a clip of this in the YouTube video, but do you guys remember during the TikTok trial, the court case? They were like, we are trying to win. We're going to beat TikTok. Tick-tock-toe.
This is not an attempt to ban TikTok. It's an attempt to make TikTok better. Tick-tack-toe, a winner.
Like, shut up, bro.
luck has run out. Violating the law is a losing proposition, and you can bet on that. Is a losing proposition, and you can bet on that.
Going against the law is a losing proposition, and you can bet on that. Now, I'm kind of biased, because if this was like L from Death Note, and he was on the screen saying that shit, it would be tough. But because it's some old white guy from the FBI, it's like, you're lame.
The Department of Justice says its proof includes financial records, witness testimony, and surveillance photos, plus text messages, audio and video recordings, and photos taken from defendants' phones and iCloud.
Wait, what was that text? Guys, please let him lend a hand. He's in for 40K in 40 minutes. He will leave if he gets no traction.
Plus text messages, audio and video recordings, and photos taken from defendants' phones and iCloud accounts, notably those of Shane Sugar Hannon and Robert Black Rob Stroud. One especially weird possible source of information has generated a lot of speculation online.
You bet in that. Can't hold me, baby. They can't hold me.
This is Gilbert Arenas, a former NBA player. He posted this on the day of his arrest, about 3 months before the FBI's big bust. Arenas was accused of renting out his mansion for illegal high-stakes poker games as far back as 2021.
And he was definitely doing that shit. That's not that's not really the kind of charge you get where the police are wrong. You know, the police are mostly. I feel like they've probably never made an accusation of that where they've been incorrect.
Players were said to have been provided with drinks, massages, and the companionship of young women. The person allegedly hiring these young women and taking the cut of their earnings was an Israeli man, Yevgeny Giora.
Oh, shocker! Shocker! A dude from Israel hiring and abusing women. Oh, whoa! When does that ever happen?
Citing Israeli authorities, prosecutors said this was the right-hand man of the alleged head of an organized crime group in Israel. Among other things, the prosecutor...
There's organized crime in Israel? I gotta watch a video about that. Hold on. What the hell? Israeli mafia? Wow. That's crazy. I guess I'd never thought
human
about
trafficking and illegal gambling. Through Gershman, they said, Israeli organized crime was doing business in LA, and the indictment tied Gershman to Gilbert Arenas. And yet, just a few hours after being arrested, Gilbert Arenas posted himself dancing. He says he had nothing to do with the games, in which case these custom poker tables the government took pictures of must have been fan tributes. Weirdly, Arenas also suggests that in exchange for his freedom...
He's right there, bro. Arenas Poker Club.
Fan tributes.
And look at all this, this is definitely coke lines. It's dusty, you can literally see where the hands were on the table,
Weirdly, Arenas also suggests that in exchange for his freedom, he may have cut a deal. It's not real subtle, actually. A few months later, the FBI arrests Chauncey Billups and the rest. The next day, Arenas seems to double down on the snitching thing.
A Big Mac in there? See, I'm the... Hey, listen. What's the... No, this is my lunch, man. I ain't get to eat it over there, man. I was talking too much. The show must go on. Listen, the Blazers wasn't going to win anyway. The last thing they needed was their coach.
Later on, he says he was trolling.
Information.
What his story really shows is just how inherently murky the world of illegal gambling is.
There were so many different branches of this, right? Because it started off, as I understand it, with a couple different games. I think, Chauncey Billups was involved in some capacity early on. But the reality is that as it splintered, we saw these little subgroups, right? Like there was a Miami team, there was an LA team. I've heard something about the Israeli mafia in the LA one specifically. There was a New York branch. Even here in Texas, we had some.
And it's just crazy that this is working. I feel like this would be you get such a rush out of coming up with something so elaborate like this and then actually working and you make money out of it, you know?
Some people that were trying to run these games.
So the FBI may have busted a criminal conspiracy, or maybe the arrests were just the tip of the iceberg.
Was it this large entity, or was it just someone that was a part of that entity, right? Was it just one guy?
No, on God, if content doesn't work out, I'm doing some sort of organized crime where I don't kill people or hurt people or deal drugs, but I'm going to do some shit like this, you know?
Who happened to also be in the mafia? Was it one guy that happened to also play in the NBA? You can't really know everybody that was involved.
At least 2 of the rigged games are said to have been in New York. According to the DOJ, there's something special about these games. Before they were rigged, they were just regular underground poker games, but they were allegedly run by associates of the Bonanno, Gambino, and Genovese crime families. Once they joined the cheating scheme, the mob got a cut. In exchange, it handled protection and debt collection. One game was supposedly held here at 147 Lexington Avenue. The DOJ links this game to the Bonanno family. The other is said to have taken place here at 80 Washington Place. It was allegedly run by John Gallo and Amar Flappy Awauda on behalf of the Gambino family. Plus, Matthew the Wrestler Dadino, who the indictment...
His name is Dadino. This guy's name is Flappy. Yeah, this is great. This is very intricate. It's very cool.
Links to the Genovese family. The DOJ says in 2023, the games merged and both families took a cut. Ooh.
So how many games were there? I'm still confused.
Thank goodness this entirely fictional game definitely isn't the one mentioned in the indictment. This guy is called Floppy, not Flappy. And this is Portuguese D, Hulk Hogan,
Yeah, it's not Hulk Hogan, bro.
Dragonfit, Casper, and Bolivian Chauncey. Their names might sound like the credits from Goodfellas, but they're a professional crew that has plenty of ways of taking your money. Marked cards are just the start. Actually, maybe this game isn't so bad. It's hours later, and you seem to be on a winning streak.
That's when you quit. You quit when you're up.
Turns out that one guy isn't wearing contacts. He just has pink eye or something. You're still down 60K, but your luck has obviously changed. Or has it? According to the FBI, cheating teams plan their strategy in real time using group chats. Their messages show they knew exactly how to string fish along. All this time, they're in control. There could be a camera inside this chip tray scanning the cards as they're dealt. It could be this thing. This isn't a phone, it's a poker analyzer. See that camera on the side? These have been around for a while. This one's from the early 2010s. Early versions were just decoys, but newer ones can actually make calls. These methods work by scanning marked decks with an invisible barcode printed on the side. And the DOJ.
And that works? That's crazy. Like, how? Imagine being the engineer that designed that. Like, that is crazy, bro. How do you even come up with that?
Jay claims the cheating teams in the rigged games used both. And then there's the table you're sitting at. The DOJ says the rigged games used an X-ray table that could read cards face down on the table. It doesn't specify exactly what that means, but Jason England has an idea.
It always gets reported as an X-ray table. It's not. There's no X-rays involved. It is something called a light table. It was invented in the early 1990s. And basically the way it works is if you have a strong enough light source, you can shine it right through a paper or plastic playing card. Of course, under normal circumstances, that would be so bright, it would be uncomfortable to look at. You'd be going like this the whole time. So you get a big glass table, you put a piece of felt over that table, and underneath the glass are hundreds of LEDs that are only shining in the UV spectrum. But you can't see it because it's not in the human spectrum. It's only in the UV spectrum. But a camera above the table can see that light, and it can still see right through a normal playing card. That type of
I see. Okay.
situation.
So it does have to do with UV lighting.
Plays like marked cards, but there's actually nothing on the cards. The table's doing all the work.
If he's right, every time you lay your cards down, the cameras are picking up exactly what you're holding. And an off-site member of the cheating team is taking a good look. This is the operator. He sends the info to a member of the team sitting right here at the table, the quarterback. This could happen in a number of ways. If they're going old school, they could use a thumper. Concealed somewhere in the cheater's body, it relays information through a series of thumps telling them what to do. It's essentially a private Morse code. Maybe long thumps indicate suit and short indicate the card. Then 2 long thumps followed by 4 short ones could mean 4 of hearts. But the quarterback doesn't necessarily need that much detail. Maybe 1 thump means the fish has a weak hand. String him along. 2 thumps means he has a strong hand. Minimize how much he wins. Online, you can find all kinds of devices claiming to be modern updates on the thumper. But why not just keep it simple? Believe it or not, it's generally considered okay to use your phone at the poker table.
Generally speaking, the reason phones are allowed is that you want people to be able to play casually and enjoy the game. If you don't have a phone and you fold, now you just have to sit there. So I think it's more of a time killer for a lot of players. Some players, it's out of necessity. Some people are just going to say, oh, if I can't be on my phone, I'm not going to play.
Using it during a hand is a no-no. But once you fold, it's fine. That's how alleged cheaters could text about strategy in real time. If there's a quarterback at this table, it's got to be this guy? If so, there are plenty of ways he could get all the info he needs. Maybe his phone acts like a thumper. 1 buzz means you've got a good hand, 2 buzzes means you're weak. Or he's checking his messages between hands and whenever he folds. Either way, he's using the info to direct the play of everyone else at the table.
I would just think that the guy in front folds first. So it's like, so I'm the one that's getting played. I'm the method. The guy sitting to here, so I play, or I get my cards. The operator finds out what it is. This guy over here folds after I put in or whatever. I set the bar. Then he checks his phone and he signals to the quarterback if it's good, if I have a good hand or a bad hand, and then they play accordingly. That's my guess.
Plenty of ways to do this. Back in 2024, John South Mazzola allegedly texted this little cheat sheet to the members of his team for a rigged game in Miami. This means if Mikey Renzulli has the best hand, the quarterback will touch a $1,000 poker chip. If it's G, that's Nelson's Spanish G Alvarez, the quarterback will tap his chin. If it's the quarterback himself, he'll tap his wrist or arm. If he's touching his black chips, that means to fold. The fish has the best hand.
That's
but
good.
Back to your oddly similar, but not in a legal sense, game. Damn it, so much for your hot streak. You check under the table. It seems normal. So does the chip tray, no camera there. All the phones are just phones. But you're sure they're screwing you over somehow. The final and maybe most elaborate cheating method starts before the cards have even been dealt. This is the Deckmate 2, a popular card shuffler a lot of casinos use. A lot of other people use it too. The Department of Justice says it found this picture of a disassembled Deckmate in Shane's Sugar.
And they know how to make it give you a bad hand, and they have like a formula for that. Some mathematician probably did that. So what? So like it's the deck of cards. It knows which card is which, and it organizes them in a way to where this person gets a good hand, this person gets a bad hand, this person gets a good hand, this person gets a good hand, this person gets a good hand. And then, but then you'd still get suspicious. But you would be like, you have to have a rigged shuffler. I don't know how you're doing this. So I feel like it's actually not that good because then you still have to do whatever. I feel like the second method is the best so far because you can cheat them because it's just technically like the normal hands that a normal game of poker would give you, but it's just that everyone's playing perfectly.
Shannon's iCloud account. Inside are more than 20 different shelves. To shuffle a deck, the Deckmate 2 generates random numbers and puts cards in the corresponding shelves. For example, the card on the top of the deck might go to shelf 12, with the next one going to shelf 3. Eventually, the whole deck gets shuffled in this random order. According to the manufacturer, Light & Wonder, the whole thing takes just over 20 seconds. And the Deckmate 2 also has this little camera inside, so it can identify every card that passes through. The idea is that it can detect whether there are any irregularities in the deck, if certain cards are either missing or doubled up. And since it can identify cards, it can shuffle them in a specific order too. Say, if you want the deck neatly organized by card and suit. And it can potentially do a lot more than that, because the Deckmate 2 can be hacked. Security researcher and consultant Joseph Tartaro proved this at the annual security conference Black Hat USA back in 2023. 2 years later, he showed Wired how it's done.
That's actually sick, bro. What? You need Ethernet for a deck box?
On the back of the Deckmate 2, there's a USB port and an Ethernet port. If you can access these ports, you can hack the shuffler. The Deckmate 2's design is supposed to protect its code from being messed with. Every time the shuffler is started, the firmware creates a hash of its own code. This unique string of characters is like a snapshot of the state of the code at that moment. The firmware then checks that against a verification hash. If the code hasn't been messed with, the two should be the same. But Tartaro and his colleagues changed the verification hash, making it match their altered version of the code. Suddenly, the Deckmate 2 couldn't tell it had been interfered with. Tartaro installed the altered code with a Raspberry Pi. It also connected the shuffler to his phone via Bluetooth. Then every time a deck got shuffled, the Deckmate 2 sent him the exact order. But at the start of a poker hand, the deck gets cut, changing the order in a random way. Tartaro found a way around that too. The app he created just needs to know the cards at one specific position at the table. Seat 2, seat 4, the flop, whatever. Let's say the player at seat 3 has a 2
Well, I thought you could just use the camera for that, so it knows what card is what.
of clubs and a king of hearts. With just that, the app can figure out the deck's new order. It tells the cheater what everyone's cards are and who will win the hand. To use the app, Tartaro and Wired cooked up a system. Tartaro would fold so he could pull out his phone. He'd enter his own cards into the app, then he'd tell his accomplice how to play using hidden signals. The DOJ claims the rigged games used hacked shufflers, often Deckmates 1 and 2, to predict the best hand at the table, and that info went to the operator and then the quarterback. It doesn't say how exactly the shufflers were employed. But Tartaro and Wired tested their method in a regulated, casino-like environment. In a home game? Come on, the possibilities are endless. If the dealer's a mechanic, that is, if he's crooked, he could be faking the cut. If the shuffler put the cards in a special order, the fake cut keeps it that way. Then there's no need for an
Why is gambling like this illegal? Like, why can't you gamble like that?
app.
Oh, banking or percentage games are illegal. So you have to use a set number of money. Okay, that makes sense. I guess it makes more sense.
The order of the cards determines who's going to win, and the operator knows this before the deck even pops out of the shuffler. Or maybe the dealer's straight, but this guy over here puts the flop into an app. The app figures everyone's hands. The operator sees it, calls the quarterback, hangs up. One buzz, the fish has a weak hand. The quarterback touches his nose, everyone gets the signal. Go in for the kill. At the end of the day, this is all hypothetical, but there's one thing we can be sure of.
Great tip, playing in a home game, and they're using an automatic shuffler, be scared, because those things can be rigged, or they can transmit the order of the cards to be used to beat you, and there have been countless stories of that. That's probably been the number one form of cheating, has been...
That's why I'm saying the second method is better, because it's less obvious, I feel like. I think the second method is way better. If I'm scamming someone, I'm using the second method.
Using these shuffling machines to know which cards are coming out where.
You've got a pair of sixes and are trying to bluff your way through a hand to get back to even, but nobody's buying it. If the deck mate 2 is hacked, everyone knows exactly what you're up to. They slowly raise the pot, and pretty soon you're in over your head. And with that, you're toast. You've burned through a lot of money tonight. But at a game like this, there's no cash on the table. That's just asking for trouble, for the game to get robbed or raided. So you trade in your chips and stagger home to sleep it off. When you wake up that afternoon, you start justifying things. Something was weird about that game. It was definitely rigged. Was it the guy with the pink eye? Was there a camera over the table after all? Or was something up with that shuffler? It doesn't matter. You can feel something was wrong. Well, you know that old saying? If you don't know who the sucker in the room is, it's you? Everyone was in on it. Every single player at the table was part of a cheating team. You'll never know exactly how they did it this time, but they were there for one reason: to take your money. So you decide you're not going to pay. When you get a short text about the money you owe, you politely decline. The DOJ says the victims of the rigged games were sometimes instructed to transfer their debts to a specific person who would launder the money. The alleged cheaters would receive their earnings the same way. That's why most of the charges, like those for Chauncey Billups and Damon Jones, involve wire fraud. The DOJ's allegations suggest that payment was taken seriously. For instance, the DOJ says that in November 2022, an individual it calls John Doe number 5 started getting text messages from someone named Zhen Hu. These messages were about a gambling debt, and they weren't friendly. Shortly after, things allegedly got physical. Later on, Zhen Hu and several others allegedly showed up at the Washington Place game. When they got John Doe number 5 to come outside, one of them assaulted him. The text messages aren't the only evidence the DOJ claims it recovered from Zhen Hu's phone. The detention letter also mentions a voice note that it claims Flappy Awauda, the alleged organizer of the Washington Place game, left on June 18, 2022.
I'm not giving nobody $1. I said, listen, I don't give a you do what you want, this, that, and the third. Then he was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna start just telling people. And I sent him the picture of my gun, of me holding it with a selfie. And I said, I'm gonna shoot you in your kneecaps.
You're not scared of the guys in our fictional game. At some point, you start talking a little shit. So do they. And then one day, a few guys show up. And they're not here to talk.
They kill you.
As they make their position clear to you, you vow never to try to hang out with celebrities and tough guys again. And just before you lose consciousness, you think, I should have at least used the code Fern.
No. What would you do if you got scammed at a poker table? I would just snitch. I would just report the whole operation to the police. What are they gonna do about it? Arrest me too? Hell no.
Oh, you fancy, huh? You buy tags, huh?